So the year of, and again, this is fluid, but right now it feels like it might be the year of the heart. The needing to be heart-centered, yet also to be able to manage it. It doesn't mean that we are so open that everything comes in and when there is heartache, it takes us down. It's that we have the resilience in our heart as well. Yes, there's going to be things that are going to make us upset. Yes, there's the things that are going to make us really happy. There's going to be everything in between. We have no prediction at all what will happen, both in our personal lives and in the world around us. So utilizing some of our yogic tools to help with that. Now, physically working with, again, what is the help that we might do in this area of the body is number one. Second, that all of our body stays in that place of feeling both flexible and strong and finding the balance of that. And then third, that we also know what are the tools with our breath and with our energy to try to, again, stay open, yet safe. And this is the challenge. This is the challenge, not only here in our practice on our mat, but certainly off of our mat as well. So, it's a lot. We're not going to do all of that today. But we're going to start on the journey of that.
Yeah,
all right. We're starting the journey. So, we're going to be, of course, doing some things with this. So the first thing that I want to teach you is there's a mudra, and this is called actually the Apan Vayu mudra. So anyone remember what the Apan Vayu is? Apan, we do Apanasana, right? When we're on our back, we're drawing our knees in and out. So Apan is the wind that controls the lower part of our body, those things that are moving out of us. Fluids that move out of the lower part of our body, giving birth to babies, things that we've already brought in and processed that we need to let go of. And so I think this is an interesting one, that this is a major heart mudra because it has to do with what we're letting go of. All right.
In our heart.
Yeah, so this is the important thing of, like, again, so that things that come in that get stuck can create problems with our heart. So this is a letting go of that. This is also reputed. Now, again, this is not, the Western research wouldn't say this, but the Eastern people who have used hand mudras for years claim that this is also a good mudra to use if you have heart problems. So I was thinking the Pam for you. So be careful with this, because again, if the power of it does start to change something in your heart and it doesn't feel comfortable, don't do it. All right. So the mudra goes like this. You touch the tips of your two middle fingers, your middle finger and your ring finger, to the tip of your thumb. That's the first part of this. And then the second part is you take your index finger, your pointing finger, and you take that to as far down, the base of your thumb if you can. And then your pinky just extends. Your pointer fingers, yep.
Okay. Goes down to
the base of your thumb. Right? And then the pinkies extend. Now, if it's comfortable, yep, you can let that rest, the back of your hands rest on your legs.
Yeah.
That's it. How's it feel? And again, it might be difficult. It might feel a little uncomfortable. So maybe just holding it for a little bit. But I'm going to suggest this mudra, and we'll return to it back at the end of the class. So we're going to go into our grounding meditation now. So just hang on to this as long as it's comfortable. But relax the shoulders, soften the jaw, soften the eyes. Find your grounding through your sit bones, through your legs. Let yourself feel your body. Come on in. Let yourself acknowledge your mind. All those things that might have been whirling around, acknowledging that, releasing perhaps anything that's not helpful right now. Acknowledge the wisdom part of your mind. And let that come, instead of being in the head, imagine that that wise mind is settling down into the base of your body, the heart chakra. And let yourself feel your breath, almost as if your breath was moving in and out of your heart directly. Welcoming it in, revitalizing, welcoming the release, just letting go. And now let yourself just experience your energy body right now. And in this heart space, in this year of perhaps of going forward and working within heart, can we find a moment to start this off of accepting things as they are? Being here and present. Told you I'd keep sneaking that one. But feeling this true wisdom. This part of us that knows we are connected with all things. We accept our connection to those things we don't like. We accept our connections, things we love. Can we move away from needing things to be yes or no, right or wrong? And can we be sensible, wise enough to know when it's time to do things and when it's time to not do them? Inviting in our wisdom to be with our heart so that we are both open and strong. Both this practice today and in our coming year. Take a moment to find your intention today. To whom or to what you dedicate this practice. Our first one together of 2020. Once you've done those things and you're ready, changing now your hands. Just opening them wide for a moment and then bringing them together in the prayer position or Anjali Mudra at the heart. And we'll chant together 3 times, Om, in that Ucharana. So we vibrate the Ah low, the U sound here at the heart. And then we bring the nasal and the silence up and into the head and beyond. Exhaling. And in. Om Shri Sadguru Paratman Nama. May the wise, wise, wise one within us guide us all. Namaste. Oh, and here's that wise one. All right. How did the mudra feel?
Good.
All right. So, at any time during this practice, if you want to hold that mudra while you're doing a posture or anything like that, feel free. We are going to return to it at the end of the practice as well. So just because that is a little bit of work for the fingers, let's just open and close the hands a few times. By the way, switch your legs if you want to switch your legs or switch your seating position. And let's just do that a few times. Let's get that nice big opening and closing. And shake them out. Shake, 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 shake. Actually, I was just going to go into that. Let's just give your hand a little rub. You know, taking one of your thumbs to one hand and just give your palm a little rubbing. You can feel in your hand that, you know, each of the fingers, you just kind of have the bone that's here in the palm that goes towards them. So maybe kind of running up and down along those lines or any other place in the hand that feels like you need it. And then coming back, we've done this before, like taking your hand and kind of pulling that finger a little bit, giving a little squeezing out on the front and back side, I'm going to call that, and then the two sides. Just maybe doing that a couple times. So I just kind of pull my fingers as I'm rubbing them as they come out. Yeah, you might get a couple of cracks and pops out of the knuckle. And doing that as you're ready towards each of the fingers of this first hand that we're doing. And then just keep going down, getting all those fingers. Any spots that feel a little tender on your hands, just give them some extra love. Yeah. If your feet weren't able to have reflexology, people would do reflexology on your hands or active pressure points on your hands. It relates to different places of the body. All right. Once you finish that, just take a moment. Just feel perhaps the difference between your two hands.
Oh, I did them both.
And then we're going to go to the other hand. So again, just first finding, you know, your thumb and your finger working down those lines in your palm, going out towards the fingers, or again, rubbing any other spots that feel like they need to be rubbed. And once you've done a little of that, and coming back to, again, doing that kind of finger pulling, running your fingers down, perhaps the front and back or the sides of each finger. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. And hopefully you're getting all those fingers. Ah, now they feel a little bounce. So again, I'm just kind of shaking, shaking, shaking. And then we're gonna rub the hands together. So give your hands a nice little rub, get them nice and warm, 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 warm. And once you get them warm, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them gently over your eyes. So you might want to even pocket them. This is kind of getting the prana activated, and then you're giving your eyes a little pranic bath. Maybe feeling that warmth. And then when that dissipates a little bit, just go and run your hands up and over and then down the back of your head. Down and onto your shoulders. Let's do that again. Get your hands nice and warm. This time, we're going to cup our hands over our nose and mouth, and then we'll run them back and over your ears. But you got nice and warm. Again, cupping over nose and mouth. Letting that prana come in to hear all the exit places and entry places of our head. And then come down. We're just going to take the hands and come down around that heart center. Just give yourself a nice little breath. Thank you, heart. And then one more time, we're going to get those hands nice and warm. And this time, one hand at a time, take one of your hands and put it on that upper shoulder. Feel that nice warmth there. When you're ready, just run it down that arm. And then you may want to warm the hands a little bit again, just to re-warm it. And then we're going to do the other shoulder, up and on that shoulder, or even on your neck. Feel that nice warmth, giving to yourself, and then run it down that arm. Good. We're gonna, again, I just like the warmth of my hands. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna kind of reach back towards your upper back. And then because I can't run my hands down my back like this, I'm gonna switch them. Get them up as high as I can like this, and then run them down my back and release. All right, and then a shake, a shake, a shake, a shake. Okay. So that's just kind of a technique that I've learned from some people that do pranic stuff, and this is kind of, it's called a pranic bath. So basically, warming your hands activates the energy, the prana, in our hands, and so then we spread that through this. All right, so with that said, we're gonna now, let's get up and onto our hands and knees and stretch out our legs a little bit. If you wanna have the blanket underneath your knees, all of you all in here, have the blanket underneath your knees. So, starting with anything that your spine wants you to do, or your legs or your hips want you to do, I'm gonna start with some kind of rolling cat-cowie type stuff, because that's what my spine is asking me to do. But again, maybe remember those movements of the spine, the forward and the back, the side to side. We're eventually going to get into some light twisting. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. All right. So as you're ready, you may want to kind of start to kind of do some little bit of rocking forward and back with your body. Notice that you're taking a little bit more weight bearing onto your wrists as you come forward. Spread the fingers. Press them down a little bit, just a little rocking, a little side to side maybe. Once you get where it's comfortable, taking a little weight bearing, like on your hands and knees, then maybe rock your body a little side to side, and you'll feel that weight bearing kind of go to the sides of the hands as you rock your body a little side to side. Good. All right, come up onto your knees whenever you're ready. And again, let's move those wrists. Just really maybe bend them down since they were bent in this position for just a moment. Really get them down a little bit, down a little bit, down a little bit, and maybe some circles. Some circles in the other direction.
Can I go, she said?
No, you cannot. All right, and let your arms swing a little bit, forward and back. Good. And about every other time, then bend your elbow and bring them in and feel those shoulder blades press into your back and kind of give the back of your heart a little hug. Yes. Maybe 2 or 3 more times.
I like it community since enough now. Right.
I think Elodie, you and Quick just need to come and live on the mountain. Let's just work with 24 hours a day for a little while. Okay, so before we stand up, grab onto your blocks if you have them handy. Sorry, Pam, I forgot to tell you for blocks. I hope you have. Okay.
So you move the ball here or not?
I would keep it here. We're going to just do the leg forward, hug, kneeling lunge, warming up the hips just a little bit. Even though we're focusing a little bit more on the heart, you know, we're going to move all of our body. So a little forward and back with your body. Again, you can also kind of get into the hamstring a little bit if you choose as you go back. Maybe lifting up those toes. Seeing how that's feeling. Just checking it out. Pausing at any of those spots or moving dynamically back and forth. Okay, while we're here, come on back up to neutral, and we're going to take that leg out to the side. And you can either let go of the blocks, or you can have that block back and behind your right leg if you feel like that's healthy. Toes can be up, or they could be down, or your foot could be even the inner edge of the foot down and on the ground. Doesn't matter. What I want you to do, though, is we're just going to kind of do a little side opening here while we're here. So moving towards a gentle Padikasana and gate pose. Maybe flowing a little bit back and forth. And if The straight leg, if that's bothering you, if that doesn't feel comfortable, just keep in mind, you could always bend that knee a little bit more if you wanted to. The idea here is really to just get some nice work going on the side motion of the body more than the legs over here. So find what's comfortable. All right, now let's bring this in, but keep that leg now bent, everybody. And that foot on the ground, but it's still out to the side. So we're kind of like doing a kneeling version of warrior two, right? Let's just take the arms out to the side. Good, and then we're gonna take this back arm and turn it to join the front arm. So we're kind of doing a little twist of the spine. And then rub that left hand, just take that palm, rub it along the inside of the arm and across, and then back. Do that again. Bring that arm around, join the palms together if you can. And then just like you're an archer drawing the bow, draw that hand back. One more time. Bring that hand around. And then draw it back. Good. Right across that beautiful heart. Here we are, nice and open. Woo! Good. Bring those arms up and down to the heart. Yes. All right, let's switch legs. So again, we're going to start off with the hip movements. So stepping your left leg forward. And again, just a little movement forward and back if it's comfortable for the body. Possibly again, lifting up the toes as you come back, working a little bit with the hamstrings.
Des cochons qui sont arrivés de leur propriété. Cochons?
Yeah, de Maratanga. You never know.
Yeah, you come here and all of a sudden my plants are going, yeah.
No, they just showed up this morning. Our friends are them and sent a picture saying, there's about 10 of them up here. Should we chase them away? They're eating all of your plants.
10 of them?
Yeah.
Where are they from?
Marathon.
They must be busted out of something.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's the
ferme qui est en face.
that has the butterfly on their gate. Okay,
She has a lot of crap.
going over to the side. Again, you may want to start off with like a variation of Parigasana with that leg out front. Possibly again, that block could be back behind your left leg. And again, using those arms if it feels comfortable, maybe moving back and forth, and maybe you want to hold for a couple breaths. And in the side body, closing. We had also New Year's Eve, as people were starting to let off little fireworks. It wasn't very late, it was maybe around 7 o'clock. We're all getting ready to go to our individual cabinas, and shortly I was going to go to bed. And our dogs started going crazy, and a beautiful, dark, long-haired German Shepherd had showed up, scared to death, wearing a kind of a lime green collar, panting like crazy. I don't know where the poor guy, or actually this girl, had come from. So,
Dog was painted.
panting.
Ah, painted in green.
No, not painted in green. Bending the knee. All right. So again, we're going to find this warrior two. So finding those arms spread out like a warrior two, a little different. We're going to bring that back arm. Your right arm now comes over. See if you can join that left palm and then drawing it backward. You're drawing the bow of your arrow. Archery, your arjuna. Drawing back. What are we aiming at? One more time.
Killing so many people with my arrow. Need an automatic weapon.
All right, and now bringing that leg back. Let's go ahead and we're going to take it back towards a child's pose or into child's pose if that's comfortable. And a couple times we'll move from child's pose with your breath up and into cow, then curling the toes under, up and into that. Maybe a gentle to start off with, Adho Mukha, downward dog. Inhaling back into cow. Exhaling back into child's pose. If that breath pattern feels right for you and those motions are comfortable, doing this maybe 2 or 3 times on your phone. Notice these postures alternate between positions that kind of keep your heart turned inward and positions that lift up. Balance. Resilience. Able to fluidly move in and out. Once you've done this maybe 3 or 4 times, and if you're feeling comfortable and you're ready, you can stay up in your Adho Mukha, your downward facing dog, and walk your dog, open the back of the legs a couple times. Maybe press into the hands. For those of you that are not feeling comfortable with the head lowered, maybe keep the knees lightly bent and more of a little flat spine. And then whatever works best, eventually walking either feet towards the hands or hands towards the feet. Gently arising, or you can do your forward bend for a couple breaths if you wish. It's up to you. We will meet standing up. All right. So we're going to do a couple things with resistance bands now. I have out these loop bands because they're kind of handy to use here. I'm going to use a regular band because I know you don't have the loop ones, Pam. I'm going to suggest the lighter of the loop ones, y'all, because we're going to do these stuff with our arms. So the green or the blue. Grab one of whichever one you want. I actually have another set. Do you want the lighter one? You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, you have loop bands! Yes! All right. And everyone loop bands.
Bravo!
I have a third set here because it's one I keep upstairs. So
It's a big. It's a big round.
it's Pepper Pig. Peppa Pig.
Oh, pink is pink.
Do you want pink?
No. I'm gonna turn it.
All right. So the lightest one of your set, Pam, is the one I want you to have. All right. So we're going to start off actually kind of working with that archer idea. So you can find, if you want, you can stand in like a warrior 2 position, or you can just simply stand. Actually, I'm going to change that. Never mind. I just want you to stand like you're normally standing, almost like your Tadasana, your mountain pose. And we're going to take our hands out in front with this resistance band. You're going to keep one side of the loop. I like to have it around my thumb, and then my fingers grab around it. And then you're going to draw back like you're drawing that arrow with your hands, kind of you're pulling across the chest like that. And then we come down. And you do it to the same thing to the other side. Draw your bow back, but
It's from.
to the side. So your left hand on that side is, you're drawing to the left, and you do that here. Like that, that's it. Do that twist of the spine, and then come back to center. And then your right arm draws back.
Okay.
A little twist. This is a little upper body twist. All right. So doing this a couple times, just feeling the arms, the work of the arms, but also that we, even though we're drawing this back, we're drawing it across our heart. So we keep remembering to have heart even as we're shooting our arrows.
What do you say?
Kill with kindness.
No.
It's my motto.
Tirala. It's a tirala. I want to Robin des Bois. Yeah. T'appeler Robin. I used to have a little one. My father always made me in the room like this, and I had my little arrow, and I was in those. And I loved it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So now we're going to take this and we're going to do another thing. And Pam, I'm going to come a little bit closer, put this up a little higher so you can see. This is sometimes called, and you'll see this sometimes in classes that use weights or kettlebells, like they call them halos. And so just for a moment, without the band, just like put the band around your shoulder for a moment. I'm going to have you take just both of your hands like this, whatever version you want to do, and just start to wrap your arms around your head, like take it back behind, and then around and to the front. And then do it to the other direction.
as if you had this most precious thing between your hands. You're trying to bring it around your head and surround your head with it. How'd that feel on the shoulders? Feel okay? If it felt okay on the shoulders, then we can add the band. If that was a little tweaky for your shoulders, that's the way I want you to do it, and do maybe 2 or 3 more in each direction. However it is you want to hold your hands, but just kind of keeping them somewhat together and coming around like that. If you want to add a little bit more oomph to it, you're going to take this little loop band, and then you're going to start to take it, let's see, I'm going to start with my right hand kind of by my right shoulder, and I'm going to take my left hand up and back, and just a little tension in between it, then back and behind, then the left one's coming forward, and then the right comes around. So it's like you're trying to circle your head. I'm going to show you from the side pan. So you kind of are circling around, 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 and around. Into the other direction after you've done that about 3 times. Oops. There we go. Comes up and over. Then back. Yep. A little crick crack. So again, as much tension as feels comfortable on your band, very light tension, or not using the band if it's tough. This is just adds a little bit more resistance for the arms and the shoulders to be working. Okay. Once you've done at least 3 to each side, then relax a little bit, move your neck as you would like if you accumulated any tension. Okay, what's the third one? I've got another one of these to do. Hurt your halos. Oh yeah. Y'all remember Gomukhasana. So Gomukhasana with this. Now, this may feel a little too small. If so, you could always grab onto this resistance band here and do this. So let's start with left arm up, right arm down. So all I'm doing with this is I've got the 2 loops. And you're just basically going to try to draw them apart and then back together. Apart. Working with this maybe 3 to 5 times. Ooh, that top arm starts to go shake it, shake it, shake it. All right, and then you're going to switch. Using the other arm up, right arm if you were following with me, and left arm's down. And again, once you have that loop or your resistance band, drawing the arms away from each other. So the bottom arm's drawing down, top arm's pulling up. So strength and resilience. Arms, heart, breath. Again, once you've done that, maybe 3, 4, 5, however many times you want. Then you're going to relax that one once again and shake of the arms. Okay, so that was Gomu arms. What did I break them?
Yeah, actually, I don't have my glasses more.
All right, I'll go with the one that let's see, did that one, did the halo. We're going to do one that's called handcuffs. So you're going to take your arms back behind you and then grabbing onto this band. Now, however it's more comfortable for your shoulders, if your palms facing towards you is more comfortable, do it like that. If it's more comfortable to have the hands facing in towards you, again, find what's comfortable for your shoulders, but we're working with this resistance band and pulling apart and together. And apart, together. Again, maybe 3, maybe up to 5, maybe more. Yeah, so. It's just, okay. Nope, nope. Kenya. I think it's average drums. It sounds like. Hopefully not the little piggies coming down the road. All right, when you're done with that one, Relax.
Simba,
Gosh, I wish I could
Simba,
remember. I
Simba
had one more of
solution.
us to do, but I don't remember what it was. Alright, so I guess that's it for right now. Now, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna take, we don't need that. Let this go. All right, so now we're gonna take this into a little bit of movement. So we've done this work kind of here on the upper body. We've done a lot of stuff, believe it or not, that's actually working with kind of opening here. So these are going to be some familiar movements. What I want you to do is, again, as much as possible, try to keep, if you can, your center down here in the heart. And if possible, you're going to think about kind of moving and orienting your movement coming from the heart. Now, that doesn't work with our legs because our legs don't move from the heart. So just take a couple steps. And if you were thinking about orienting yourself from the heart, but you're also moving your legs, notice where else it feels like you're centered in your movement. So just walk around just a couple steps. I want my heart to be part of the guiding of my movement, but where do you feel your lower body is being moved by? Deb's got her spot. Once you find your spot, put your hand on it.
I have no heart today.
Pam's got her spot.
It's like fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's here.
Okay, yours is a little higher, mine's a little lower. So for most of us, yep, that lower part is kind of around that area called the dantian, right? This area that it's not quite the navel, it's a little lower than that, but it's not all the way down the pubic bone, it's kind of in that center. These are, in many, many traditions, the two most vital centers. And it's no wonder that these tend to be the places where our bodies tend to
Take you up or they take you down.
yeah, where they're oriented from. So these are the two centers. If you can, bring your mind down here, but your locus of movement and part of you stays here as well. All right? Okay, so with that, we're gonna get into some movement. First one we're gonna do is we're gonna come down and onto the knee, do our kneeling lunge. And in our kneeling lunge, we're gonna do that opening across and doing this a couple times. If you liked the resistance band and you want to have your resistance band ready to grab on into your hand and to use that, or if you just liked using your arm and you want to do that, sweeping your arm across. So make your choice. If you want to have the band, have the band. And let's find our front of the mat. Because we are coming down onto the knees, if you want your blocks for that transition, have your blocks for the transition. All right, and let's find Tadasana. Feel yourself grounding into Mother Earth. That beautiful connection with her. Feel besides the feet and the crown of the head that's lifting up. Again, this beautiful central channel within you. The two side channels. Those two centers that you're going to be moving from. And your wisdom coming and residing. Let's bring the palms to the heart by remembering and centering in your dedication, your intention. And then as you're ready, inviting your arms to lift from the heart. Stay rooted, arms overhead, Urdhva Asana. Now even in this position, staying aware of your two centers of movement, find a light twist towards your right. Coming back through center, finding that twist to the left. Coming back through center. Finding as you're ready a forward fold of any type, Uttanasana, using blocks, using your legs, using the floor. Take a breath or two here if it's right for you. If it's not right, you can always keep the spine extended. Inviting yourself to still feel that centering in the heart, in the low belly. One more breath. As you're ready, you may want to extend into an up and halfway position and then take that right leg back, finding that knee down, kneeling lunge. If you're going to use the resistance band, absolutely reach and grab for the resistance band. Just have it in your hands for a moment. Let's find an Anjaneyasana. Letting yourself feel those two centers. The lower center steady. The upper center perhaps slightly lifted. Now we're going to be turning towards your left leg. So bringing the hands, you're going to grab onto that resistance band or the loop with both hands if you're using it, or just placing the palms together. And then you're going to draw your left arm back, like you're drawing that bow back and behind. Then rejoin that hand back together or pull the loops back together 2 more times. So Pam, you're turning towards that bent knee. You're turning towards the left. That's it. There we go. One more time. Drawing that arrow. What are we aiming at? Not who. And back to center.
I prefer who.
And then we're going to take the resistance band off to the side, take the hands down or onto the blocks, take that leg back, and let's take it back into either child's pose, or if you're ready, find a plank position. Holding perhaps for a couple breaths, feeling those beautiful fingers, nice, strong, reaching out through the crown of the head, through the heels. And then either with knees down or knees lifted, lowering down, coming onto the abdomen. Woohoo! All right. And let's keep the legs anchored, top of the feet down, feet as wide apart as you'd like. And then gentle baby bhujangasanas. Maybe hovering the hands, maybe taking the hands out to the side. Maybe taking the hands out in front, it's up to you. 3 or 4 times with your breath. Arising up. Releasing back and down. Baby cobra. Good. And then placing hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to start to come back and up. And we're going to come onto the knees again. We're going to step your right foot forward on the other side. And first, Anjaneyasana. So finding that lower body nice and stable, hugging the legs towards each other, lifting up through the arms. So both of the centers, the lower center are stability, the upper center where our heart is lifting and hopefully lightening. And then as we're ready, we're going to bring the hands back together. If you're using your resistance band, you're going to grab onto your resistance band with the 2 hands. This time, we're going to take the arms out in front, and the right arm is the one that's going to draw back, turning towards that right knee, drawing the arrow back and behind you, and then rejoining it back together. 2 more times. So if we're drawing that arrow, what are we aiming at? Coming back. 1 more time. And coming back. Beautiful. All right, hands are going to come back and down. We're going to once again take that knee back and find again either your child's pose, or if you want another plank, this would be the time for another plank. If you're doing your plank, find that strong line of energy out through your crown of your head, through your heels, holding for a breath or 2. And if you'd like, you can move through any vinyasa of your choosing. We're going to end up in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha, if that is good. In this time of heart turning inward, contemplating, feeling those 2 energy centers. Beautiful. All right, if you've had the little blanket for your knees, you may want to just take one hand and put that off to the side. And we're going to look between your hands. You're going to step this time your left leg forward and come up towards a warrior 1 position. So it can be crescent pose, that back heel could be up, or the back heel could be secure. And finally here, that knee bending and the arms are rising. Feel the 2 energy centers that you're moving from. Now with your arms up here, is it possible for you to find the mudra? Middle 2 fingers come to the tip of the thumb. First finger comes to the base of the thumb, and the pinky extends. That's our heart mudra within this pose. 3 more breaths. Rooted, resilient, open. And then as you're finished with those 3 breaths, bringing that knee up, dropping the hands,
Now, if it's comfortable, taking the hands and maybe joining the hands back behind you, or just reaching them back behind, we're going to come into the forward bend here, Parsvottanasana. If you prefer to bring your blocks forward and have your hands on the blocks, of course, do that. If you want to go into full pose, nice forward bend, we're reaching back behind or joining our hands back. Heart softening. 2 more breaths. After you've done those 2 breaths, start to bend that knee. Now this comes into humble warrior, so we might be able to, with this knee bend, come even farther, drawing the heart downward, being humble. If it's comfortable, again, the arms rise up behind us or clasp, come up and behind us. 1 more breath. And then gently releasing the hands, taking them down to the ground and finding either your plank pose, or perhaps coming down to the knees, holding for a breath or 2, 3, or 5, then gradually moving down, coming into that yoga push-up, or rising up either into baby cobra or upward facing dog, and ending with Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Our heart lifts and our heart turns inward to contemplate. What did we learn from our exposing ourselves to this world, to open? How do we remember to be strong and to protect? 1 more breath. Looking then between the hands, we're going to step the left leg forward this time, I believe.
Right.
It's
The right.
left.
Well, for me, it's the right.
Oh, we took the left back?
No, we took the first one, it was the left.
I don't know, this is the way, if we're gonna do the same thing again.
Yep, we're going to do the same thing again.
Trust me.
All right, right leg forward then.
Okay, we have a
Okay.
case,
Gracias.
aesthetic.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me on track. Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1 again. Right? So finding this position, the leg position that's comfortable, the arms reaching up. So feel that security in that lower center, the arising in the upper center. And then if it's comfortable, perhaps the Apan Mudra again in your hands. Middle 2 fingers come to the thumb tip. First finger comes to the base of the thumb and the pinky arises up. Perhaps you're finding 3 more breaths. Beautiful, ladies. And then starting to lift up, releasing the mudra, and either just sweeping the hands straight back behind you or perhaps joining the hands together and finding here, folding forward. How deep into that forward bend is right for you, finding Parsvottanasana or some variation of Parsvottanasana. Again, we're folding into this one, so our heart is getting this chance to turn inward, to learn from what we've been exposed to. 1 more breath. And now from here, we're going to move into humble warrior. You may want to come up just a little bit, but again, we bend this knee, and this time possibly the upper body coming to the inside of that knee, maybe the arms just reaching back, or maybe the hands joined together, as far overhead as is comfortable. 1, 2, or 3 more breaths here. Nice. And once you've done with those breaths, you're again going to release the hands and take them down to the ground. Again, your choice of 1 more plank, or finding your way already into child's pose, or into upward dog, downward dog, or moving through all of those as a vinyasa. Finding your way, what is right for you. It could be up dog and down dog. It could be cobra. And then finding Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here in this gentle time of reflection. Eventually finding your way as you're ready, softening the knees, bringing the top of the feet down, and finding child's pose, balasana, if that's comfortable.
I got it.
Right.
I forgot a pig again.
And inviting yourself to get a chance to reflect once again on how
I
the
will never
movement
answer the phone.
supported you, has helped you find strength. Take a moment here. And then, when you're ready, hands under the shoulders, gently bring yourself up. How's it feeling?
Nice. Rested, rusty.
A little rusty. My back feels exactly the same.
My whole body.
How you feeling, Pam? So far, so good? All right, all right. So we're gonna move here into one more position. And again, depending on how your body's feeling with this, this is lifted pigeon, right? So y'all know pigeon pose. But this is the one where we're not gonna come down. We're not gonna do the forward bend. We're gonna actually lift and draw the legs towards each other. So again, you should feel some nice strengthening happening here and possibly using your blocks so that you can press down and lift here. The same motion we've been working with. Elodie, can you do me a favor and just draw that down a little bit? Okay, so this, again, because we're lifted in it, I'm not going to use supports. However, if you have a feeling that you don't want to keep working your legs in this, you may then want to use either like a blanket roll or a block. I like it under the front leg. Some people like it on near the front of the back leg to actually have something underneath that sit bone. All right. You could also have a blanket roll under the front of this back leg. Now, in this position, again, I'm using the blocks. My legs are drawing towards each other. They're trying to do that scissoring action. And I'm using the blocks because my hands can't get all the way down to the ground to press down a little bit more to really emphasize lifting through the heart. My elbows need to bend a little bit. This isn't quite the perfect height for me, but it's closer than having the blocks at any other dimension for my body. So you want to have a height of block where your hands can do some pressing down to help create this lift, to help create that lift of the back bend. And your legs are nice and strong. So once you, everyone, right leg, right knee in front. Left leg back and behind. Now, and so draw your knee and your back knee towards each other. We're not lowering down onto the ground. And find the height of the blocks that feels good. I like to get them as close to being under my shoulders as possible. That works for my size of my body. And I'm pressing down through the arms, dragging the legs towards each other, lifting through the heart. Now, if you're feeling really strong in the legs, you may not need the arms to support you. You may be able to draw your arms off of that and place them in front of your heart or up above. That's fine too. One more breath. And when you're ready, you're releasing back down. You're going to press in the blocks to lift up through that front leg and sit on the heels for a moment. You can always go up and use them. All right, everyone okay? Yes. All right. If it's okay for you, we're going to go now to the other side. If you're using support under that, you would flip it over to the other side. Left knee is going to be forward now. And Deb, again, you may be staying up nice and high. For those of you that are finding that this is a comfortable position, you're dragging the knees towards each other. Hands are under the shoulders or as close to it, pressing down into the blocks to lift up through the heart, finding the support here of the blocks is needed. Legs are strong, that lower center is strong, the heart is lifting, and again, if it's comfortable to release the hands, they might come to the heart or up above. 1 or 2 or 3 more breaths. See how you're feeling. Whenever it is that you're ready, using those blocks to support yourself, press into them, lift that front leg, and again, find a sitting on the heels or possibly using the blocks to sit in between your heels. Right here. If it's comfortable again, you may want to find the hand mudra. Thumb to the tips of the fingers, pointer finger to the base of the thumb, pinky extended, resting on the thumb. Checking in, body, breath. mind, energy. And when you're ready, softly opening the eyes, releasing the mood. We're going to come into a seated twist. So again, some of you, like me, may want to have a blanket you're sitting on, or two. And we're going to do an open twist today since we've been working with heart stuff. So we're going to start off with the right leg out in front. Again, I'm mirroring you. And the left knee up as so. Classically, we'd have that leg straight out from the hip. It might feel better for some of you to have it a little bit wider or even a little bit more narrow. And we're going to actually be turning away from this bent knee. So we're doing an open twist. If you're up on enough supports, if you find that it feels like your body is leaning to go back, have a block or even a blanket to support your hand back behind you. Right hand's going to be back behind you, possibly up and close to your right gluteal. And then we're going to take the left elbow to the inside of this knee. The knee and the elbow kind of find that gentle isometric work, which might also help you lift up through the spine. Right heel gently presses down if you can, keeping those toes lifting up towards the ceiling. And then using your breath, start to find your gentle way of working into this twist towards the right leg or open twist today. Once you find that twist and you're there in that resting position, if it's comfortable, keep that right elbow connected to the knee, but bring your hand now down to the heart. Just
Right
rest it.
elbow?
Yep, you're doing it right.
So it's the left.
Left elbow, yeah, okay.
Sorry, your left elbow. Thank you. Invite yourself to drop that awareness into the heart. Feel your grounding, feel your lifting. Feel your strength, your presence, your openness. Three more breaths, possibly right in and out of the heart. After you've taken your 3 breaths, gently begin to release your left arm, coming back out of the twist. We're going to switch sides, so straightening out the left leg, bending the right knee. And again, since this is a little different side, finding where do those legs want to be. They don't have to be straight lines. It's better for you to have them a little off to the side. If you want support for underneath that left hand back behind you, the block, the blanket is there. Rooting down through the sit bones, through the back of that left heel now, and finding the right elbow and the right knee. Create that isometric work right here. Gentle press. Lifting through the crown of the head and finding your way, entering into the twist. Taking your time to find your way into this, to where and what point. And then once you have, this is going to be your resting point, maybe dropping that right hand down to the heart. And inviting yourself to find the rest, this posture. Breathing, feeling all of those beautiful qualities, centeredness, strength, openness, presence. 2 more breaths. After you finish those breaths and you're ready, beginning to gently release the hand, unwind the twist. Just letting both legs come out in front. Do a little wiggle, wiggle with the legs. Maybe those hands, roll the wrists a couple times or shake them out. All right, now get ready to lie down and just find out, does your body want you to do anything else before Shavasana? Possibly you want to hug everything in. Possibly you want to do another twist. Possibly you want to do a couple bridge poses. Any or all options. And then we'll begin to work our way into Shavasana.
Je peux t'emprunter ton bolster, je vais faire un truc.
All right, so lying back down, seeing how everything feels. Kenya will come around and inspect all of you who are here in the room. And Pam, I'm sure your cats will do the same with you.
No peace.
Let yourself maybe roll around a little bit, feel how it feels to be down and on your back. Just listen. What else is my body asking me to do? Is there anything? Am I ready for Shavasana already? Finding and moving in the ways that feel like you want to. Whatever it is that you're ready. Beginning to move into just lift your legs just to get it centered. Yeah.
Tu veux pas le gros pour...
Non.
Bye bye.
All right. Let yourself find your way into that most comfortable place. Taking your time. Finding that the back of the head, the back of the heart, the back of that lower center, and the back of your heels and legs are all in just that right place. Feel as though, especially in the back of the heart and probably around the sacrum of the back of that lower center, feels really well supported. Let yourself draw the shoulders back a little bit if that feels comfortable. Let yourself feel your arms relaxing. Let your legs come to the distance apart that feels the most comfortable for you. And perhaps now inviting your awareness to just for a moment soften the eyes, soften the jaw, the lips and tongue. Feel the shoulders, neck and throat soften. Softness all the way down through the hands to the fingertips. Through the back, the spine, through the front, muscles, the belly softening. Feel the gluteals softening, the hips softening. That front center and the lower abdomen softening. And inviting that softening to come all the way down through the legs to the toes as well.
take any amount more breaths to let any more softness and release come throughout the physical body. Any places where it still feels you may be holding tiredness or tension. Breathing into that place and inviting your exhale to imagine that you're softening. And once you've done that, then bring once again that sense of your greatest wisdom. It's now drawn. There's no worry or focus in the mind anymore. It just comes now down slowly to settle into the base of the heart, right behind the lower sternum. Inviting yourself to now rest in that place, to soften into that place. And be here for about 5 or so more minutes, resting in the space of the heart. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om. Taking the moments to once again reconnect with the feeling of being held by Mother Earth, the feeling of your breath within you, sense of the space around you. As you're ready to gently begin moving gently with the fingers and the toes, gradually with the feet, the wrists, the ankles. Maybe a nice big full stretching out of the body and a gentle drawing everything back in. As you're ready, begin to bend the knees and coming over onto the side that's most comfortable for you. Let yourself transition gently, eventually into sitting upright once again. Take your time. As you find your way into your seat, we're going to be here for about 6 or so minutes. As you find that seat, wiggle your sit bones down to feel the grounding. Find that sense of the top of your head, the crown of your head lifting up. Again, the sense of these two centers, heart center, place that's Tantra is called Kanda, just between the pubic bone and the navel. And as you come into this sense of stillness, finding and feeling the natural pattern of your breath. It's gentle, easeful breath. The inhale and the exhale. Now beginning to imagine that your breath is coming in and down through the top of your head all the way to the pelvic floor, to that beautiful central channel. The exhale arising easily back and up through that central channel, some point up above your head. Feeling that natural and light pause in between the inhale and the exhale. The natural light pause at the end of the exhale before the inhale. Once you've established breath moving between the base of the pelvis and that point somewhere up above your head. In the next inhale, draw the inhale down to that lower center, that place where you're moving your lower body from, but within the central channel. And the exhale rising back and up. So for most of you, it's someplace between the navel and the pubic bone. Let your breath arrive there on the inhale, pause. Let your exhale begin from there and still go up to the place above the crown of your head. Whenever it is that you're ready, you're now going to inhale into the heart center. Full, same length of breath, it just arrives then into the heart center. And the exhale returns back up and out of there above the crown of the head. It's comfortable and you wish to return to also using the heart mudra at this time. The tips of the two middle fingers to the tip of the thumb. The index or pointer finger to the base of the thumb and the pinky extended. Breath coming through the crown of the head into the heart center. Pause. The exhale begins and arises from that heart center back and up and through the crown of the head. And the pause once again. Feeling or perhaps imagining the breath flowing through the central channel into the heart, releasing from the heart, back and up and out into the room. Three more nice full breaths like this. And after you've finished those breaths, releasing the imagery, the breath pattern, and just noticing at this moment everything. All the layers of your being. Results of this practice. When you finish that observation, releasing the hand mudra. Bringing the palms together to the heart. And lightly bowing to honor all you are and all you experience. close this practice, a single chant once again of Om in the Uchara and followed by Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Exhale and inhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace. Thank you so much for your practice.
Gracias, gracias.
Thank you.